Welcome to the Oddball Podcast, where I am your host, Johanna, and I am joined with my co-host,
Mya.
And we are here to have a creative conversation around what it means to be creative, how to stay creative, what people do to stay creative, but then also, you know, their journey of how they've reached where they have become. That does not make sense.
Yeah, we're going to tell you guys how to all the oddballs. Like Tryna here.
Yes. So our first guest is Tryna. We have Tryna Gower here, and she is an amazing, wonderful lady that has done a lot of different things. You've done podcasting, you have done photography for many years, and now you're filmmaking, I hear. You're also a medium, a health practitioner in many modalities. Yeah. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's wonderful. And, you know, we're very excited to have you because, like us, you did receive this TELUS podcast last year. And how cool is that? That we are now following in your footsteps. And you did an amazing podcast, People for Peace, last year. And I'm sure it was scary, just as it is very scary for us starting on our journey of podcasting as well. So tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you get started and the whole thought of putting together your podcast?
So I had a associate client friend reach out to me about the opportunity through social media. And I didn't apply for it. I didn't know it was available. But because this person kind of reached out and messaged me about it, I just had this feeling like, what is this? Why would they take the time to send me this, application and this, this opportunity? And then I had, my instinct was to look into it, to really feel into it, so to speak, right? And I use my intuition for a lot of things, but my inside voice was like, yep, check it out, check it out, check it out. And then I hadn't actually planned on doing a podcast. It wasn't my main goal. Because I had made my first documentary film, People for Peace, a short documentary. When the opportunity arose, I felt like, this naturally piggybacks off the film I had, right? So TELUS does give you the opportunities to add on things, but my first initial invite was from the friend that I wasn't too close with, right? So when I first got the documentary invite, then this piggybacked off. I thought, well, when things come to you, when things are just coming to you, that's it's really important to make sure that you're looking into it, feeling into it, and taking and grasping opportunities with both hands. So I just felt like I needed to, so I grabbed it. And then I decided, okay, how am I gonna run this? How am I gonna roll? I'm not an audio tech. I am a photographer. I know the camera, but I'm not an audio expert, right? Which is a big, giant part of this whole deal.
Oh yeah, we've had our struggles for sure.
But one thing I have learned, though, is we're always meant to keep growing. So sometimes these challenges, they humble us, right? They humble us a smidge.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But it's a great opportunity for growth. So I feel like creativity is just like playing in the sandbox. You got to work with the materials you're given and the circumstances you're given. And then that's how you create authentically, because there's no instruction manual. So I just went with the flow. Then you invited me. And
now we're here.
And now we're here.
And now we're here. Yeah, it's been a very interesting journey, yes, for us. And it is a big learning curve, of course, learning all of the tech and all of the ins and outs around it. So how did you overcome that? Where was your go-to? And did you have mentors that kind of helped you along that way?
Yes, I had a really wonderful mentor. So because I did the film, I had a film editor named John Artigo. He lives in the USA, and he's a film editor, a film teacher. He has all the big boy training that you could ever ask for. So when I blew the dust off my cameras and the mics and all the things, I had a lot of the gear already.
Yeah.
But I was, begging him, hey, can you help me? And of course, one of my dearest friend's husbands said, of course, I'll help you. So I felt really confident that if I tripped and fell, somebody would help pick me up. So I didn't worry too much about it. And his editing of the film was beyond what I could have imagined or what I could do. So I just put my full trust in the professional. So I knew I did not have that skill set. So I needed to bring those skill sets on the team. And that's essential. You gotta address your weaknesses and your strengths.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for us, it's been, like I said, just that big learning curve, and people like yourself have been really great, to give us advice along the way. Other folks that we've reached out to in our community as well. So that's great that you have mentors that are helping along the way. So one of the things we like to do on our podcast as well, before we get more into yours, is we have in front of us this wonderful little plate of clay. So we like to stay creative as well. We want to see how creative you can be while we are having this conversation. It's free-flowing kind of creativity. Whatever you create, there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever you feel in the moment to create. What we'd like to do with our little claymation creations at the end is we'll use them as our emojis for our names and use them throughout our podcast for some of it. So feel free to, as we're having our conversation here, to, use the clay, play with the clay, whatever you feel inspired. So back to being inspired then.
Can I start?
Yeah.
So I want to start.
Yes, grab your clay, get going on whatever inspires you.
It's good for just like hand movement too, right?
Yeah. So do you want to tell us a little bit then about what was the inspiration for your podcast that you had, People for the Peace? You said it was a bit of a spin-off from your documentary.
So People for Peace came to me in a sleeping dream. So I am a dreamer. I dream 3 dreams, 5 dreams a night. It's nothing unusual, but I had a really remarkable visitor come and see me, one that I didn't expect, and I couldn't understand it. I had John Lennon came to me in one of my sleeping dreams, and I was sleeping face down on my bed, and I sleep like the dead. Okay, it's like my sacred space. So I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I feel this strong tapping on my shoulder face down. And so I'm kind of annoyed, like I like sleep. So I roll over, and I look up like this, and all of a sudden, John Lennon's face was right here, staring me in the face. And he goes, "Hi, I'm John Lennon." And I go, "And I'm sleeping."
Oh, funny.
Yeah. And he had his like googly round glasses on, and he's super chipper. And I'm like, "Oh, dude." And I flip back over, and I go to bed, and I finish sleeping. But then as soon as I wake up, I'm like, "Oh my God. Oh no, I totally dissed John
Lennon.
But I was so rude to John Lennon.
I was like, oh, that's not good.
Right.
So and I have a bedroom in the basement, so I was staggering over to my little office, and I pulled up the computer, and I pull up the Google, and I go, who is John Lennon? Now, understand, I did know who he was, like on a very loose, worldly famous stage, but I never listened to his music.
Right.
I never followed them. They weren't my era. I just thought they were some hippie dudes from the 60s, right? And so then when I Googled, the first thing that popped up was this giant photo of him wearing a jean jacket with a patch on the side that said, "People for Peace."
Oh, cool.
And it just struck me like a electric bolt.
Clicked,
It just went boom. And I went, oh, what am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? And then I ask a lot of questions. What am I supposed to do with that? Mm-hmm. And then I hear my little inside creative voice going, and it says, it's your turn. You have to do something. But I'm like, but I want to make films. I want to make movies. And then I went, oh. So I don't overthink these things. I let the process kind of go through me, and I sort of listen to what I'm being told or being directed. Mm-hmm. So anyways, I sat with it. I pondered. But when I got the invite for the film and the documentary, that's when I went, oh,
that's it.
This is it. People for Peace.
Yeah.
Right? And then I got more bits and bops on what the storyline was and things like that. Because typically back in the day when they did their whole People for Peace mission in the 60s,
right,
it was about kumbaya. Let's all be friends. Let's all love together. Community. Right? Community.
Right.
Which was super excellent. However, in this day and age, I feel like we need to add more onto that in a different spin, because we can't use that same analogy. That same...
There's different issues now too, and
yeah,
the same but different.
And a new generation, right? New generations with different ideas and different realities. Mm-hmm. So how do we do that? So basically, once I got the information on that, it was up to me now to create it. As you're saying, Johanna, how do we create it? Well, it had to basically come through me. And then I sort of have little talks with myself going, does that feel right? Is that for the highest good of people? Does this make sense? Is this... And I have a tendency to do things that are outside of the box. I mean, every artist will say that, but I mean, I guess I'm a risk taker.
Yeah, right.
Right? Yeah. And you think peace and risk don't go in the same sentence.
Right.
But sometimes we have to take a risk on peace.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's a really beautiful story. And then that's why we love you on our Oddball podcast, because we are all odd and doing things differently here. So
Yeah.
So I have to ask, did John Lennon ever come back and visit you?
No, not like that. I, in meditation would sit and be like, dude, send me a sign,
Come back.
but nothing like the first
Yeah.
inspirational visit, we'll call it.
It is
Right, right.
You get a lot of those like inspirational visits. Do you really then follow
Yeah.
through that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'm writing my movies, actually.
Okay.
So they're just coming to me.
Yep.
The titles just come, and then I go, oh, what's that about? And then all of a sudden I just see all the visions and I see all the scenes. I'm like, okay, oh, that's cool. Let's write that
Go
down.
with that.
Yeah.
Huh. What an interesting process. I mean, and that is a very unique process, probably not one that a lot of people maybe use, or maybe they do. I don't know.
I think they should, though,
Yeah.
because I think like
very
you get into these big, you see these musicians. I always refer back to music.
Yeah.
You see these artists and they're just singing, and every soul in their body is connected. The stuff's just come as powerful. You see
Yeah.
those, right? And then I have learned that they're basically channeling their highest self. They're in full confidence of and trust of whatever's happening.
Yeah.
They're letting it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
They're not getting in the way. And because it's not really them or us or me, it's the greater good trying to do.
Put this out into the universe for everyone.
Yeah, and if we listen, we can grab the reins.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So then how did that translate? So after you had your John Lennon dream and now you had to make a podcast. So how do you go from the dream into, okay, now we're doing this. Now we're really doing it.
Well, I went, okay, who are the people that I know in my community that are really helping and assisting the community? That was sort of my guiding post, my guidepost. So I went, okay, well, because the People for Peace version that I'm offering the world isn't about making peace with you or me. It's about me and you guys finding the peace within yourselves, finding the highest version of yourself within you that you're comfortable with, that you can recognize, that you can stand in honor of. And then when we're all doing that, now we create a collective peace. Right? So I picked people who I knew from my experience that I felt were really delivering to the community, were really offering different tools and services to actually help people make actual change.
Right. Huh. So then your audience that you had, you must have like a wide range of folks that then are, drawn to this type.
Yeah.
Along with youth. I'm sure you have lots of youth too that you're probably inspiring
Yeah.
along the way.
Because I'm an oddball, I attract all these types of people, right? Like we want the more the merrier.
Oh, yeah.
I love all the people. I love the different things. So I'm not sure who the audience is,
Yeah.
of course.
Right.
I haven't even picked one or targeted one because I think you're called or you're not called.
Everyone needs to find their peace, right?
Yeah. And it's fleeting. It's fleeting. It's here 1 minute and then it's gone the next. Right?
It's definitely something you need to be like forever working on. Right? You can't just
We're evolving,
Yeah.
right? And we have to, I kind of think, be at peace sometimes when you're angry. Be like, okay, I'm angry. What is this telling me? What do I need? How
Tap into the
yeah,
anger,
like
right?
okay,
Like-
what's the force? What's the drive? Where's the balance? I think if we get preachy, too much kumbaya, we're not actually dealing with the problems.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not even problems. They're messages or things that send you in certain directions.
Certain paths and
Yeah.
direction. Wow. Well, so that sounds like you have, like I said, lots of different people from the community on there, and it launched this spring. And how has that been going? That's got to be scary, because that's the part for me too that I always think of is like, oh gosh, it's one thing for us to be making these and doing it, showing it to our family and friends, but all of a sudden it's going to be out there. It's out there
what?
in the world.
I wasn't
And-
scared at all, but my guests were,
Yeah,
of course,
right.
right?
Right.
So I had to be gentle with them because
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. People don't. Most people don't love a camera in their face or a microphone
Yeah.
hooked up, right? So I wasn't afraid at all because I knew technically. I mean, I did have technical bumps and bruises. Don't kid yourself. I learned a few things the hard way. But because I had professionals that I could reach out to, I knew that it was going to eventually come together.
Yeah.
And then all I wanted to do was really like show off these people. I just wanted to show them off and show what we have and what you can access if you want it. And so I was proud of them.
Yeah. Do you like the spotlight? Are you an attention kind of?
So I'm a Leo rising.
Oh, yeah.
So I already just, cameras and film are supposed to be just part of my natural gig. I've had a camera in my hand since I was 17.
Wow.
So I've learned, I was really shy and I was terrible in front of a camera when I was younger. So what I decided to do after listening to so many of my clients say, I hate my pictures, I hate my pictures, I hate my pictures, I hate being in front of the camera, I decided to try to get good at it so that I could help other people get good at it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So through your journey, so was that your first kind of way to stay creative, was through photography?
Yeah.
In the beginning? That's how you started?
Yeah, I was 17, bought my first camera at the mall camera store, and it was like a SLR film, the old style. Yeah. I had to buy it on layaway. It was $350, which was like way out of my budget.
Even honestly, out of my budget right now, too. I've looked into it.
And I had to make $50 payments once a month until I had it paid off.
But it must have felt so good, hey? Like finally getting that, and then, being it's your own and you can make your own stuff.
Yeah, well, sometimes when you're passionate, you're called to something.
Yeah.
Right? And so I've always loved people. I've always loved people's personalities. And in high school, I hung around with every crowd that existed. If I got bored of one, I'd just go to the other one and, go to the sports kids. I'd go to the...
Find the good in everybody.
Yeah, I do love people. I mean, people can also frustrate me, of course, but I genuinely am a collective people person.
Yeah. Is that what did you find your photography focusing mostly on people? Or?
Yeah, it was portrait photography,
right.
So I did that for 25 years.
Oh, wow, yeah. Nice.
So it was a big part of my life.
Yeah.
I feel like with photography like that, you have to really be kind of in touch with people's emotions too, right? Like, seeing how you can draw that out in the photography, which again probably lended to how you make film and stuff. So you did then, after all your photography, was then the documentary kind of your next creative journey, or how did you jump from photography into your short documentary that you made?
Well, I always wanted to be in film since I was a tiny child. Like 4 years old, I can remember thinking, I want to be in the movies, but doesn't everybody want to be in the movies? But I didn't think of it like most people want to. I want to be the actress. I want to be the star. I didn't have that vision.
Yeah.
I would imagine all the cameras and the film reels and the lights and the makeup drawers, and I could see all the doors and the green room. So I always envisioned that stuff. So I didn't realize, though, and then that I was going to end up at. So photography seemed like my natural step up here in the north. Back in the day, there was very few filmmakers. I didn't think there was a chance in heaven that I could ever get into the industry, right? So I just kind of let it be. This is the closest I'm going to get. This is the closest I'm going to get. But then about 6 years ago, I went to a meditation teacher training in California and met my dearest friend Danielle, who was in the film industry, her and her husband, who's my editor, and who were teachers in the industry, and basically are holding my hand while I get going, making my movies. So it's like my big, it's been my big life's purpose goal dream that I thought was untouchable.
Yeah, too far to reach for you.
Yeah, and so now I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the best I can to get it.
Of course. Well, it really helps if you have a passion for it. Like you see the best art and the best artists come from somebody who has a real drive for that, right? Yeah.
Because sometimes it's it's not. I don't feel like I chose it. I feel like it chose me, but it just excites you, and you get all that drive.
You feel it when it's right. You'll know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So your documentary, the short documentary, then, what did that focus on? What was the topic around that?
I focused on my mentors because I would never be where I am without mentors. And I believe the good mentors will kind of call you out on some things. They're going to hold the bar higher. They're not going to just blow fluff and tell you, great job. So I tend to be attracted to mentors that make me jump higher. And I like that because I always want to grow. So I thought, how could I pay honor back to my mentors? Right? And so I had my photography mentor, Don Pettit. So he's still one of my mentors, still one of the greatest people in my life. So I featured him. I featured Evelyn Coutre, who is one of my Indigenous friends, who really helps. She's a cultural teacher, and so she really helps me stay in my lane, learning about my culture, reconnecting with my land and family and all that. She's been really supportive and really diligent on making me accountable and doing things properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then lastly, I had Gary Oker, who I think is one of the greatest artists of our area.
Yeah.
And he's so creative that he deserves his own little show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But just
Have you had him on the podcast? Sorry.
no, not yet. Maybe I need to, right? But I find him a remarkable human. He's got a lot of culture. He's got a lot of leadership. He's got a lot of creative talent. And so I just wanted to express the diversity. And I myself am technically a Métis woman.
Right.
And then I dance between my Cree culture and my Métis culture. So I just wanted to show people the differences between all the different nations and how we all play really well in the sandbox and how each one gets to peace in their own way, because everybody does it differently.
Yeah, but the common ground is peace, right?
Yeah. And Oddball, it was pretty much rooted through creativity, the moral of the story.
Yeah. And so how does being in the North challenge you or excite you or inspire you? Because up north we're different. We're very much different up here in Dawson Creek and in the Peace region. Very much different than down in Vancouver, the Okanagan and such. So what do you think about the North and doing films and podcasting?
It can be a little bit tricky. I love the North, and then I'm fantasizing about other areas of life, but when it comes back to it, I'm always so thankful to be here. And what I'm super grateful for is that now with things like the internet and all opportunities like this podcast, we're not limited to the old Dawson Creek that we used to think when we were growing up we couldn't break free, right? But now we are totally breaking free from vehicles like this. So I'm pretty cool with it. I love it.
Yeah. We have the whole world out there now, like accessible in our fingertips. So
and we can literally leave. So what I'm finding the older I get is I love the retreat. I love that, So it was challenging for the film concept because I thought there's no way ever.
Right.
And I remember washing my windows up on the, hill thinking, how am I ever going to pull this movie thing off? That was like 20 years ago. And I then think that was just it though, because at that time it was not possible.
Right.
And then now I met people that are in the industry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I went, wow, thank you, universe. That's good.
Did you ever have a real rock bottom moment where you're like, I'm gonna quit? Like I can't.
Of the podcast or
just filming in general, like making your documentary and stuff?
No.
You never,
no, I had very, very hard, challenging, testing, grueling tests, but I'm not a quitter.
No.
So I have this. My husband actually, because I had some episodes that were not. The editing software was misbehaving very badly.
Yeah.
So I was saying to my husband, I had to edit that one 6 times. I had to edit this one 4 times. I had to edit that one 3 times, things like that. It wasn't very pleasant. It was through Christmas as well, so the deadlines were tight and all the stuff, right?
Right.
And my husband's like, I can't believe you haven't given up by now. And I'm like, never gonna happen. So anyways, but it's good because you have to learn how to work through the hard stuff.
Yeah. Have a good support system,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's been our challenges too, of course, the tech side and that there. But no, at no point have I wanted to give up because it's so great to have these conversations with people. It's really cool to have the opportunity for us to even be doing these podcasts and stuff. So, and I like the idea, like you said, you do a lot of community stuff and highlighting your mentors and showing. And I feel, the same way is that there's so many amazing people we have in our region and in our area that I wish I could tell everybody's story, right?
Well, Johanna, you've always been a massive community proponent, right? That is who you are, so it's great to see you guys doing this and doing it together and getting the experience. So thank you.
Well, for sure. And so part of our podcast is, having the youth and the youth perspective from Mya as being part of it. But it's the journey too, because this is all new for her as a brand new host, as a brand new podcaster here. Have you worked with youth a lot in any of your filming or?
No, I did in my photography a lot, but not in front of live cameras.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so we're trying to inspire some youth and get some youth, fired up about, being creative in our community as well.
Come on, guys, get excited.
Yes, get excited from
Great
the
idea.
youth side. So as a youth, Mya, what do you think, what kind of podcasts and areas are youth listening to? And
I feel like youth aren't listening to the most inspirational of podcasts. We have our Theo Vaughns out there and stuff like that. But there's definitely, I figure that there's a lot of podcasts right now. Everyone's doing a podcast kind of thing. I don't know, what was the question?
yeah,
Lost.
just being inspired by podcasts. But you're right, inspiration and your podcast, being very inspirational, like you said, may not target everybody or people being led to that.
But it's true. Everybody has a voice.
But yeah.
Right? And everybody has the ability to express themselves and share. And some people literally get a closed throat and are unable to. So when people like you step up and start showing them how to do it, it's very inspirational as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we gotta have mentors, even youth mentors.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So another aspect of things that you do to stay creative too is you work a lot in the health field as a health practitioner. Well, you tell me all of your things because I know you do a lot.
Well, I'm an angelic Reiki master teacher.
Yeah.
And that's been the last few years for me. But prior to that, when I started my spiritual awakening, I was really being called back into my Indigenous culture.
Right.
So my Cree grandmother kind of was taking us out of that lifestyle and culture because some tragic things that happened to her. So we were kind of getting weaned out of our own culture. But then I had this massive calling to pull us back into it. And I feel like, what was the question?
I don't know now. I can't remember. I was just right with you there on
me too.
being inspired. Well, we don't know. That's okay. That's okay. We don't need to know. But talking about your culture, though, and then how you've been, called back into your culture, how has that inspired you in, filmmaking and stuff and helped you on your journey? Has that been
it's been a godsend.
Yeah.
It's been the piece of me that was missing for a really long time when I was little. So my brother and sister were these two very white-skinned kids.
Okay.
One was kind of red hair, one was kind of blonde hair. Then there was the brown-skinned kid, which was very brown-skinned and very black hair when I was little. Right. So we looked like a little smorgasbord of little people. And my siblings, bless their hearts, would always say, "You're the Indian, you're the Indian, you're the Indian." And I was a sensitive kid. I was super sensitive.
It's kind of
It was like a stab, because back then that was not a good thing to be in our world. It was tough, right? So I didn't want to be that. That was tricky. However, then when I got older, I realized that my grandma was passing, and I had this kind of higher knowing, I guess, that something wasn't right about this. I'm like, "Grandma, no, that can't be like that. Grandma," and I would kind of correct Grandma on some of the things she'd say, and I'm like, "No."
Right.
And then I got called to do some portraits in Fort St. John with the Doig River First Nations. And so then as soon as I got there, I was like, "Oh, home, sweet home." I felt like I arrived home finally, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so then I just started discovering rediscovering and rebuilding and relearning and all of those things. And then I felt like I'm at home. I have to do this. So the Indigenous cultures inspired me. That's who I really am. That's what the parts of me that were suppressed and blocked and locked with a key. And it was my responsibility to go back and get it and rebuild it and incorporate it back into my family now. And I've been on this path for 25 years. So I feel like I finally arrived.
Yeah.
But it inspires everything, because when you're talking about the things that I offer, so I do mediumship, which is basically tapping into higher consciousness. Yeah. Everybody is intuitive. Yeah. Everybody. It's just that some people don't know how to sit quietly, how to listen to the higher sense of self, right? So I do that as well. And I try not to get too weird about it. I try not to be too odd about it.
Right.
because it's actually just our senses. Right? Everybody has senses. Everybody can feel things. Everybody can, intuit things. It's very, very natural. So I do that, and I had the opportunity to work under a medicine man for almost a decade, learn by him and have, all these experiences. So I felt like I had another excellent mentor. Right?
There you go.
So now I like to just flow with it like I do with everything else, and allow people. I like to teach people about their own energy, because if I would have known this when I was your age, Mya,
Yeah.
things would be probably looking pretty different, right? If we got to know ourselves truly at a much younger age,
Yeah.
the confidence, the creativity, the relationships would be so much different.
Well, I think at points you find it and then you lose it, and then like, you know, it's kind of an up and down. Like, it's not linear for sure.
For sure.
Like, at all. So.
For sure.
Because yeah, I've definitely had points in my life where I'm like, oh, I'm the best. I mean, not the best.
Yeah, but you're in
have
the
that
zone.
energy, you know, right? And then, yeah, and then something happens and it kind of just goes away. So.
Well, and that's the point. When you teach people, I don't think we're meant to be there 24/7.
Yeah.
We're in this, 3D world, being humans, exploring ourselves, learning some lessons. And then all we need to do is reach out sometimes for guidance. And that's all I want to be for people. I don't want to be their full-time therapist,
No, for
because I want to teach people how to feel confident in themselves. I always say to my clients, I'm teaching you out of my business, because
Right.
now you know too much and you can't come back, right?
now you don't
You
need to
could,
come
but
back.
don't need to, right?
Yeah.
And that's actually, I get quite a lot of joy out of that. And
Yeah.
it kind of
Really helping people and stuff.
deflates the pocketbook sometimes, right? I mean,
Yeah.
But it's not about
Yeah.
that, because it's about when I see people thriving, I'm like, yes, yeah.
Winning.
Like I'm super
Yeah.
proud, right?
Yeah, well, it again helps to build up our whole community, right? The stronger that each pillar of our community, each one of us is in there, then the stronger our whole community can be. And like you said, you know, the whole idea that art and stuff comes from that intuition, that space where you just let it go and let it flow, and that's that intuition you're talking about, right? That's
Yeah.
a lot of art and music and.
Yeah, and the really, really good stuff is, I think, like, there's good writers and all of that, but sometimes I feel like they put a lot of pressure on themselves to write it perfectly, the best, every page. And then, like, I wrote a book a few years ago, and I'm like, why would I write a book? It's not even something I wanted to do.
Right,
Bizarre. Don't want to write a book. I didn't even like English. Skipped every class.
Yeah.
What's happening? And then it's like, karma's here. You have to.
Write a book.
time to write your book. So when I wrote the book, I just surrendered to the creative process and went, okay, what's this about? Kind of talking to myself, and thoughts pop in my head, and then I just write them all down. So the book,
Right.
I say, wrote itself, essentially, right? And then I just get to put my name on it, but it wasn't really me thinking about anything. So I think sometimes people get too particular and too stressed about art.
Right.
Right, the process of creating that it needs to be perfect. Yeah.
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 And it doesn't even matter how perfect it is, because it's all open to interpretation.
Yeah, no, very fair. That's very fair. I know I fall victim to that myself.
Oh.
Being a Virgo.
Oh, yes, you would.
Very much.
I mean, how does horoscope tap into, like, how do you feel about horoscopes and everything? Do
I'm
you
totally
really,
down with
yeah?
them. Yeah, I'm a Pisces, so I'm down with the
Down
horoscopes.
with it?
What
Do
I
you
love
read one every day, or like?
no,
Really
but
take
I learn about it, so I like to learn about it as a map, so to speak. And what I like about it is because now that when you're making movies, everybody's a character, right?
Right.
So then you have all these character personalities.
Right, yeah.
This Virgo is going to write this book perfect. And what's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn. Yeah.
You two play well together in the sandbox. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm not either of those, but what it does help me do is, I think if we all explored that a little bit, we can understand each other better. So I'm like, okay, I'm working with a Capricorn and a Virgo. Standards are high quality work. Very good, right?
Right.
Like the bar is high. Okay, I'm going to show up. But that's good, because now we know each person. Then you're going to go, we're going to go with this weirdo Pisces who's like, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Whatever. But she's Leo rising, so she's going to want that camera out. Then you can have fun with it, and then you can understand your friends and your family better,
Yeah.
and not be so, trying to make them something they're not.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the work that you've done is kind of trying to understand the world, understand others, understand our relationships, and, the connection to each other and to the land and all around there.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Somehow it started just leaking out, and then I feel like if I get this like big huge nudge or big huge calling, I must do it. Like I must.
Correct.
It's beyond me. So I feel like I have to say things, and I have conversations that are challenging and difficult, but I feel like humanity is in a time where we're all looking to really live well and to be our best and to have joy and to have peace. But in order to do that, we have to look at some of the underneath stuff, you know?
Yeah, and I think there's definitely been a shift in our society, you know, over the last few years. And
Yeah.
people wanting to take a look at that, really questioning, you know, their own beliefs and where they stand and how they fit into the, you know, the whole piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And stuff.
And learning to, you know, accept these massive changes or not, right? Like there's lots of things. But the point of this whole thing is like being a creative person is going, you know, what's my role in it? What's my role in this, and how am I going to create in this scene, we'll call it, time period of life, the scene.
Whatever's going on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, all your stuff's been very creative and inspirational. So giving back into that creativity in a positive way, because, you know, art can go dark. It can also be bright. It can be many things, right? So, yeah. Adding that kind of positive vibration back.
But the thing about the dark is we all have that within us too, right?
Yeah.
It's in black just because you said that.
Oh, and black.
But the shadow is part of the human experience. So when we learn about it within ourselves and we start working with it and understanding that, then we can cultivate it and turn it into the light.
Yeah.
So then that's just like, I always get the analogy that life is just the school of love.
I like that.
We're all in school.
Okay.
We're learning in every moment, every person, every and we're just learning how to truly love.
Well, it's all of our first times here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is we don't necessarily get it all right the first time, right? Because we're just humans.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah, we've had to sometimes retake and retake because that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take 2, episode 1.
Yeah, and that's all part of the learning curve, right? There's no exact roadmap out there for any one of us, and that's been like, you know, for me, the creative thing with this podcast journey is just kind of letting go of those expectations of what we kind of think. Being a Virgo, I have very much this, you know, it's going to be this way and it's going to turn out this way, but kind of letting it go and letting it flow, but because there's so many other people involved and it is going to be just as beautiful as it's meant to be, right, in the end. So and that's for me my lesson that I have to always go through, and Mya, you've been learning your lessons around hosting, which is really fun to see you bloom and grow in that department as well. So
Just like my flowers I'm making.
oh, is that what you're inspired to make today? Wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah, we're all working away on our little claymations here. You know, every time we do this, I don't know what I make. I just make shapes and make things till they keep going up.
Abstract.
And
See,
it's
the
very
abstract
abstract in that, you know, in that way. So your book that you wrote, what was that?
So it's
touching
called
on?
Begin to Be. And it was a very simple book that was channeled through me. And the book Begin to Be is about learning how to access this thing when I was talking about universal love and all this kind of stuff. But it was channeling my grandma, my Cree grandma that deceased.
Wow.
So it was really remarkable and quite unbelievable. So when she passed away within 6 months, I would have these overwhelming sensations and feelings to come, and just like words were just there.
Right.
And I just would grab a napkin or a paper and I'd scribble down little notes everywhere. And then I collected a pile of notes. I'd have a napkin from a restaurant, some torn piece of paper with some scribbles on it. And it just was like mumble jumble. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And then there was a writing course, an automatic writing course, which is meditative writing.
Okay.
So you write meditatively straight for 4 days, morning till night.
Whoa,
you
that
get,
is
you get to
insane
sleep,
practice.
but you got, it's long, like 12-hour
Yeah.
days. And you just write and write and write and
Really?
write. Yes.
Oh my
So
God.
I
You
did
took
this.
part in that then?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I thought, I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't know how to write a book. What are you going to do?
Right.
Right. So I went in there and I wrote the first version of the book, which was basically a book to me, telling me how to write a book.
Oh,
And I was like,
your own two how.
yeah, it was my own how-to. Right. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I just signed up for this glorious course, but like, what the heck? Where's the rest?
Yeah.
So it gave me quite the talking to and quite the instructions of how things going forward
Yeah.
were going to be. And I went, wow. And then realizing I could, hang out with my grandma and could get all this beautiful wisdom. And then a year later, the same guy was hosting a course in the U.S. So I jumped on a plane and went. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? This is my weakness. I don't have these skills. So I went again, and now I wrote the book.
Right.
All in the same meditative writing for 4.5 days straight. Your hands just raw. You're just...
Yeah, that would be like such a process.
Yeah.
So can you sit down at a table and do that, or you just...
Yeah. Yeah, now I teach classes on it if people want to learn how to do it.
Really?
Yeah. It's amazing. It's beautiful. So the book was basically it was the first experience of me releasing my ego and surrendering to this creative process that was trying to come to me. And then I had to just let it be. And I had to trust. I was more nervous back in that day. You know how you're like, oh, I definitely did that because I'm like, people aren't necessarily into this whole spiritual thing. That's a taboo topic. But if you remember back in the days of you won't remember. But if you remember back in the days of the black and white television, and there was all these. When we were really little, there'd be these native, cowboys and Indians shows in black and white. And there'd be all these natives dancing around a fire, calling and talking to the spirit and hiya, hiya, hiya. And there'd be these white cowboys that come in and try to take them out. And that's weird and da-da-da-da, right? Yeah. But now that I've reconnected with my Indigenous culture, it's just naturally available. And I don't pin it on just Indigenous people having it. Everybody has it. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's just Indigenous communities are much more open to the idea of the spirit, right? Our spirit, I would say a spirit is another word for your personality.
Oh. Everyone has a soul inside them.
Yeah.
Huh, that's an interesting way to look at that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. Like Indigenous cultures definitely have been more in touch and, than a lot of Western or European, I should say, coming from...
Yeah, and so I'm super thankful for it. I don't expect everybody to get it or to accept it or even to understand it. That's actually okay with me. Yeah. Because everyone's got their own lanes. Not trying to prove anything. But I am so thankful to be a creative person with that asset. Yeah.
What a cool process, though. I'm just thinking about your 12-hour writing for 4 days. Like, that just seems... like a lot. Wow. To sit there and to just write. And was it literally like you were there for 12 hours just writing? Stop for lunch? Keep going?
We did have a lunch break, but it was like the door was a revolving door. So if you had to get to the washroom, you of course could. Yeah. But it's like lunch is 3 to 4, be back. Supper 5 to 6, be back. Right. So you get to eat. Yeah. But it was not like a party time at all.
Right. Yeah. And then you just go into a meditative state to do this?
Mm-hmm. Do they have music in the background?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So peaceful.
Yeah.
When we're super peaceful, things just come. Things just flow. Yeah. Right? And then I don't judge it, I don't question it, I don't punish the things that are coming to me. Right. Do you know what I mean? I just accept, that's what we're doing. Yeah. Huh, okay. Yeah. And that's sort of my attitude with everything. And I wonder if it's because I'm kind of irresponsible and I don't want to take responsibility. So I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. My grandma wrote it. I don't know. So-and-so did it. I don't know.
Someone else did it. It wasn't me. John Lennon.
That's his fault. Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to start taking that mentality.
Do it. Whatever works, Capricorn. You do what you got to do.
Oh, that's really cool. So then you wrote your book, and then that came up. How well was that received then?
I kept it on the down low, to be honest. Because it was my first big release of something odd. Yeah. And because it was to do with my grandma, I held it very dear to my heart. So I never wrote it for sales in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. I was more like, she called it an experiment. So I took it, it's an experiment. Yeah. So I honestly have sold quite a few. Like I put it on Amazon. I got some shoppers from the UK and the US and stuff that have written some really nice little reviews. Mm-hmm. And so I sort of just let it be. But it's its 10-year anniversary next year.
Oh, neat.
So I'm relaunching it. I'm refreshing, adding today's point of view to it, and like new cover and all that jazz. So I'll launch it next year on its 10-year anniversary.
Oh, so you're going to rewrite a bit of it too, or?
I'm going to keep it as is and then add.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've gained a lot more wisdom in a decade, right?
Oh, fair enough.
I don't want to mess with the original integrity of the book.
Do you think you'll keep going every decade?
I don't know. I think I might just put that one down and be like, thanks, Grandma.
Okay,
but I do feel like, because also the general population has opened up so much more to what we're doing, that they might be open to receiving it. But what I'm getting, like even right now, I'm hearing you have to add a lot more logic to it so that people can understand.
Right.
But I do think the like spirituality community is definitely becoming more like accepted. I see it online and stuff. A lot more people are talking about, oh, they practice this, and I believe in this, and you can definitely find a community.
Yeah, like I think it's definitely, it's everywhere that I see, but of course we see what we want to see, right?
Yeah.
So it's everywhere, and I think that I'm not the kind of person that's like, it can only be spirituality. It can do religion, you can do spiritual, you can do whatever you want. You don't have nothing.
I know manifestation's gotten really big. I think that's been really popular, especially like in youth and my side too. I see that a lot, you know.
Okay.
Well, manifesto goals, I remember in high school, everyone was a big thing. We were talking about, okay, you write your crush's name and put it under your pillow, whatever. Like, write it 5 times or something, and then you do something. I don't know. It's like a 5-step method or whatever.
Okay. So if I can give you the shortcut to that, just imagine it.
Yeah.
Just imagine it.
You play it out as if, you know, it's already happening to you. Or whatever,
well, and just like I call it placing your order with the universe. So I'd be like, universe, I'd like this, this, and this. That's it. That's all I do.
What I want.
Right.
And then they almost always happens because it's about intention and law of attraction, right? So that like just goes back to when I was about 8 or 9. I spent a lot of time alone, and I had this big, huge imagination and a super daydreamer and all this kind of stuff. But I would imagine, I want to have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed husband that's like my hero, and I want him to, I want to live on Bear Mountain, I want to have a circle drive, I want to have lots of windows and chandeliers. Like I had this big, huge order.
Yeah.
I have all of those things.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like my husband's legit a firefighter, right? So he's like, I literally said hero, and I'm like, oh, sure.
Check.
So it doesn't have to be like work.
Yeah.
You just go, like for example, as soon as we're done, just like, I want this and that. Right?
And it'll fall into place, hopefully.
As long as you're in alignment and you're flowing into your true self, it does.
Yeah.
But we just can't dispute the timeline.
Yeah.
Just gotta let it be.
I always had a fake it till you make it motto, you know? And that kind of goes hand in hand,
It does.
right?
Yeah, it actually
You're
does.
pretending that it's happening, you know, eventually.
There's 100% nothing wrong with that. I think it is the same thing. It's the same, right?
Yeah.
Giving yourself permission to be that version. I think it's cool.
So I can't wait now to see all this extra logic and stuff that you're going to put into your book as a
me
sequel to it.
Me too.
So are you going to have a sequel to your podcast, People for Peace? Is that going to continue on? And
Yeah. I decided to step out on my own for season 2, just so I could open the doors to worldwide conversations.
Fair.
And I'm so thankful for the opportunity to play in the community and play in the sandbox with other people, which I will still invite back, you know, of course. But I just feel like I need to spread my message globally.
Yeah, it's time for you to get out there in the world, not just in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. And then you also mentioned you're doing now a feature film. So that's also something that's new and exciting. You try so many different things. It's so great that, like, you know, you have the courage to just try all these different things. So feature film.
I owe it to my husband because I feel very supported that I don't have to have it, like, you know, there's nothing stopping me, so to speak. It's the biggest risk of my life, the biggest challenge of my life, the biggest goal of my life, besides having a family, of course. But it's tricky. I'm a little bit nervous for sure, but I'm channeling not 1, but 3 movies.
Wow.
So
You're making 3 movies? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I know the order they come out in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be filming 2 in Dawson Creek for sure.
Oh, wow.
We'll be busy for a while,
And I need money. So if anybody wants to send me money, I'm just going to manifest that.
Manifest people.
We'll get you money tree or something.
Well, that's going to take you quite a few years then. Like, this isn't just a short project jumping onto 3 films like that.
I'm hoping to film the first one in 2 years.
Okay.
So I have a timeline. I have a goal. I have things in, you know, wheels spinning, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also realize, you know how in artists, like you said with your art, that you just always kind of make the random, however you describe that.
Yeah.
How do you describe that?
Abstract-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like they just happen. So
Like
every
random
artist has like a signature, like a signature, right?
Yeah.
Well, the films, I kind of go, whoa, we're going to do that? I wouldn't have wrote that. Not that it's bad, it's excellent, but it's better than I could have come up with, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, super cool. So I'm just going to see how number 1 does, and I'm going to have number 2 and 3 ready in case number 1 does okay.
Right.
And then I have
Then
some
you've got
more
more.
material to back up what I'm trying to do.
Man, all this stuff must make you a busy lady.
I feel like chill.
She seems so like.
I know, so relaxed about the whole thing, but if I think about all the stuff you have on the go, man.
But I energetically never worry about it because I know it happens in the right time. I know it happens in the right way. And I know that there's no such thing as perfect. And as a Pisces, I just go with the flow. And as an intuitive, I know that I'll be trusting my instincts all the way. There will be hard lessons because there always is.
Yeah.
You know, and you're working with other creators. Like when you make a movie, you have to have a director and a director of photography, all these people doing the job for you.
Yeah.
And you're paying them to do it for you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the producer's role, is to make it come together. And I have no experience in any of those things. So we'll see.
So you find it okay giving up the control like that? Like,
yes and no. Like I know so many incredibly talented people. I'm not going to know any of these talented people because they're going to come from the film world, right?
Right.
But I have learned that sometimes they just blow my mind. Like when I did the shoot of Gary Oker for the People for Peace segment, I went to his art studio, and everything, he just had it, and the vibe and everything was better than I could have ever constructed. So I was like, score, right? So I know that happens a lot when the people are in the zone. So I'll be spending my time working with the people to get the people in the zone.
Right.
And then once they're in the zone, I can just
sit back.
Yeah.
Watch the magic happen.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's the difference.
Super cool.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, I mean, everything that seems that you've done, though, has turned out successful and has been, an amazing little project here and there, and you keep going, right? You just keep going, creating new stuff, and it doesn't seem like there's an end.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Can you tell us about your film, what it's about at all, or you keep it all under wraps till you're...
It's a little bit on the down low, but let me just see if I can bring anything through to give you. It's definitely a cultural journey. It's definitely a self-identity journey. It's definitely a film that is inspiring people to look at the best parts of themselves.
Okay.
But it's in a very dramatic way. It's very unorthodox. It's not typical.
Right?
Yeah, so because it's not typical, and I can't say much because it unfolds in real time, right?
Okay.
You know how I was saying, we don't know what we're going to get. So basically, my goal is to get the film suitable for your age range, and be one of those tales that helps bring the balance back to the people. That's the goal, I think, with all of my films, to look deeper under the layers of us as human beings.
Yeah.
Where we're clenching, where we're fearful, where we're egotistical, where we're powerful, where we're loving, and look at all those angles in the film. And then reflect yourself as the viewer. Like, how am I doing there? What's happening for me?
Right.
Yeah.
So is it a nonfiction then, or it is...
Yeah, these are all...
These are real.
No, these are all made-up tales.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All
okay,
channeled stories,
Oh, cool.
But because it's like, there's wisdom wrapped in all the twists and turns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a lesson to be learned and stuff. Like,
From every movie, yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie that, like, inspires you to...
You know what's so funny? I don't have a favorite movie,
No,
and this isn't my favorite movie, but the one that keeps popping up into my mind is Rocky.
Oh, Rocky.
You know how Rocky...
Yeah. Never give up.
Yeah.
Like, never give up.
Good message, right? Like, there's always a...
Well, and I don't know if you're familiar with the details behind that film, but he wrote that film in 3 days.
Really? I didn't know that,
I believe he sold it for very, very cheap, like, say, $15,000 or something. He even had to sell his dog to...
No.
to
not
make
the
the
dog.
to make
I
the
would
movie
never,
go.
No.
But then he made so much money, he bought the dog back.
Oh, good.
Right. But that's just a classic, long-standing movie with a solid message.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the movie I keep seeing when people ask me, what's it about? I'm like, it's Rocky. It's Rocky.
Yeah. It's Rocky.
But, I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah. Well, we've had such a great conversation around everything that you've done and all of these different creative ways. Is there one that's your favorite? Like, out of everything that you've done, because you've done a lot, one that you're like, oh yeah, this is the one that I'll always kind of keep coming back to?
That's a really great question. I created these public events a decade ago called Be Real. And it was a meditation retreat. Kind of ahead of its time, I think, in many ways. People weren't really ready for that meditation world up here that much back then. Now it's kind of full-fledged, but back then. And because that community event got created, it opened up the doors to so many connections and different relationships with people and mentors and teachers and all of those things. And it taught me how to tap into my higher, better self, and also to see my shadow that we were talking about,
Right.
the trickier parts of us.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot about myself in that, and I gained the courage to explore that more. So I guess that community event was probably the one that sticks out for me, where my
Right.
world just changed, and I could learn how to put the ego down, learn how to find more of my essence, and then stand in my truth no matter what. So I guess that was the turning point for me as a human being. And
Right.
not because it was so creative, but because it was so important.
Right. So what is one, if you could give us as new podcasters on our journey here, what's one kind of advice or did you ever
Give
have
us
a
some
real bad
wisdom,
mess up?
please.
Yes, wisdom. We need your wisdom.
Have fun and be super risky on the level of dorkiness, oddballs, because that's entertaining and that's creative and it's fun and it's inspiring. When you have the courage to be yourself, truly be yourself and let her rip,
Yeah.
you give other people permission to be creative as well.
Yeah.
These cameras aren't nothing.
Cameras are nothing, right? Well, so on our creative journey, we have been all of us been playing here with our claymations to create something. So Tryna, what have you created?
It appears to be a cane
Oh, nice.
of some sort.
Is it a candy cane?
It feels Christmassy,
Yeah.
right? It has a Christmassy vibe to it. So
Yeah.
other than that, I don't know, but canes make me think of assistance while moving along,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that's what I got. And if it's candy cane, it's sweet. It's a sweet movement.
I
Like
think
it.
it's a lamppost, personally.
That's what you see as a
That's what I
lamppost.
saw
Yeah.
at first.
Cool.
Was it, yeah.
Very nice. And Maya, what have you created for us?
Well, I made some nice flowers here, but it'd be a little stuck. Delicate flowers.
Yeah, you have made some very delicate flowers there.
Pretty. Oh, so pretty.
No!
I like the detail.
But she's there.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take photos of this so our
That's
folks
beautiful.
can see them. But yeah, great job there, Maya. You may have an artistic skill. Your creativity is coming out in claymation.
That is gorgeous. Very pretty.
Very nice.
Let's see the abstract.
Okay, so my abstract here, I don't really know. I started, my original thought was I'm going to build a house. Because I feel like we're at home. You're having this conversation that we're at home. And then somehow it turned into, I don't know, a raspberry job. But it's very abstract. It's my raspberry house because I guess maybe we like things sweet and sour and a little random. A little random.
It seems solid, though. It's like a solid house.
It's a solid house. It was my little... I was a kid and used to love strawberry shortcake, so now
I would eat it.
It reminds me of like a strawberry shortcake kind of ode to strawberry shortcake in some weird way.
There you go.
In there.
Well done, ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Tryna, for being on our podcast. We really appreciate you being here and sharing all of, the inspirations that you have shared. All of the different modalities you've done, your health practitioner. I can't wait to see your films. We've been listening to your podcast. We really love that as they've been coming out each week for that. Maya, any last words from you?
Any last words? No, it was good to have you here. It was a good conversation. I think take 2 went better.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching the
where can we watch your podcast?
Oh, fair enough.
Where do we watch it?
Well, we got TELUS STORYHIVE, right? People for Peace by Tryna Gower, and my website, trynagower.com.
Perfect.
Good. All right. Well, thank you for watching an episode of the Oddball Podcast, where we are looking for people to join our Odd Pod. We're the Odd Pod, Mya and Johanna. Thank you.